While the Pakistan team of the 80s was quite successful, it is the 90s team that remains close to most older Pakistani fans' hearts. Today we take a look at the year 1990, where Pakistan was set to spend quite a bit of time in Australia, after which they were to return to their stronghold in Asia. Pakistan would participate in the 1989-90 BENSON and HEDGES World Series in Australia, where contrary to the name, only Australia, Pakistan and Sri Lanka were participating. The teams played each other as much as 4 times, with Australia and Pakistan mostly using Sri Lanka as their whipping boys, who did however manage one monumental win against Pakistan at the Waqar in Perth. Pakistan and Australia progressed to the finals, which were to be a best of 3 affair, but Australia cut that down to 2, beating Pakistan in back-to-back games, rendering the final game moot. Such dominance retroactively gave greater weightage to the 2 wins Pakistan managed versus Australia in the round-robin stages of the series, with skipper Imran Khan's all-round performances playing a major role in those victories. The Test series, which might seem quite alien to most modern-day Pakistan cricket fans, such that it was squeezed in between the one-day series, saw Pakistan nearly win a Test match in Australia. The first Test started off well enough, with Wasim Akram steamrolling the Aussies for just 223 runs, followed by a signature Pakistan collapse as the visitors were bowled out for just 107. Unfortunately for Pakistan, it was all downhill from there. Wasim did however return with a vengeance in the second Test, taking 5 wickets, scoring a 50 in the first innings and 100 in the second, but ultimately with Australia at 233 runs for the loss of 6 wickets, chasing 304, play was called off on day 5 with the match drawn. The third Test was rain hit and also ended in a draw, giving Australia a 1-0 victory on aggregate. After being bullied by the Aussies on their home turf, Pakistan decided it was their turn, as they went on a winning streak that saw them lift the Austral-ASIA Cup at Sharjah, triumphing over Australia in the final. Waqar Younis was the highest wicket taker of the cup by some distance, averaging a scarcely believable 7.41 with the ball. New Zealand then toured Pakistan in October-November, and skipper Imran Khan decided to skip the series, reasoning that New Zealand was a weaker team that could be beaten without his help. The Kiwis didn't do much to dissuade that notion, as they returned home winless. However, their skipper Martin Crowe enhanced his reputation as one of the finest batsmen of his generation. Next to tour were the mighty West Indies, and Pakistan arguably escaped a Test series loss, with the third Test ending in a draw, as the hosts finished at 242 runs for the loss of 6 wickets, chasing 346. Pakistan did however hand the West Indies a mauling in the first Test, courtesy of Waqar Younis' 9 wickets and Salim Malik's 102. The second Test saw West Indies triumph by 7 wickets, as the marquee series ended in a 1-1 stalemate. The year ended with a 2-match series versus Sri Lanka at Sharjah, in which Sri Lanka claimed a victory in the first ODI before Pakistan hit back in the second. The year 1990 saw Waqar Younis and Wasim Akram finish as the highest wicket takers across formats, as Pakistan finished second only behind Australia in wins and win-loss ratio. They would only lose 2 matches outside Australia for the year, as Sharjah and Pakistan remained their fortresses.